There are places in this world that feel older than the maps that name them. The Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia is one of those places. Forests so dense that sunlight has to fight to reach the ground. Roads so narrow 2 cars cannot pass without one of them yielding. Towns so quiet you can hear the silence between the sounds. It was into one of these towns that a group of friends drove on a Friday evening in late October. They had been planning this trip for months. They had no idea that the Pathway Inn had been planning for them far longer. They had chosen the Pathway Inn for its reviews. Historic, atmospheric, like stepping back in time. What the reviews had not mentioned, what no review ever quite captures, is the particular quality of silence that surrounds a building that has stood for over 100 years. The way it seems to absorb sound rather than reflect it. The way it watches. They arrived later than planned. The mountains had a way of making distances feel longer than they were. By the time they pulled up to the Pathway Inn, it was past 10. Too late for sightseeing. They decided to leave the bags at reception and head out anyway. Explore the town. Find somewhere to eat. Come back when they were ready to sleep. It was a simple plan. The kind of plan that sounds perfectly reasonable in daylight. The Pathway Inn waited. It was good at waiting. They returned to the Pathway Inn just before midnight. The building was completely dark. Every window, every entrance. Not a single light burning anywhere inside. They pressed the bell. What they heard was not a ring. It was a sound somewhere between a click and a screech. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. They pressed it again. Then, at the far end of the corridor, a shape, moving toward them, slowly, not hurrying, as though it had known they would be there, as though it had simply been waiting for them to ring. His eyes were different. There was something about them which made them feel deeply uncomfortable. Veins visible beneath the surface, like cracks in old porcelain. He said nothing, simply stepped aside, and waited for them to enter. They thanked him. He didn't respond. The building was a maze. What had seemed like a straightforward corridor split into 3 directions. Staircases appeared where the walls should have been. Landings led to more landings. They tried the first staircase. It led them down. A long corridor stretched ahead of them. Every door locked, every room silent. And at the far end, a painting. Large, ornate frame, dark oil colours. 2 figures kneeling, heads bowed, in a room with no windows and no doors. The title beneath it, written in an elaborate script: Meditation to Death. They went back up. The second staircase was narrower. The kind of narrow that makes you turn sideways. The kind of steep that makes you use your hands. It led to a single door at the top. Written across it, in something dark and irregular. Not paint, not marker. Something that had dried unevenly, something that had run before it set. Do not enter. One of them reached out and touched the letters. Their fingertip came away faintly reddish. They stood off for a moment longer than was comfortable. Then they went back down. The lobby had changed while they were gone. Not dramatically. Not obviously. Just enough. A stack of white bedsheets on the reception desk, folded with a precision that felt deliberate, waiting. And across from the desk, a mannequin, standing in the exact center of an alcove they had not noticed when they first arrived. A woman's form, old-fashioned dress, glass eyes that caught the overhead light in a way that made it impossible to tell which direction they were looking. They rang the bell, waited, rang it again. He looked at them as though the fact of their presence required no explanation. As though, of course, they were still there. As though they had always been there. He took the key from their hands and led them to room 13. The room was larger than expected. Larger than it should have been, given where it was in the building. They didn't think about that. They were tired. He left without saying goodnight. For a few minutes, everything felt manageable again. The mind has a way of doing that, of smoothing over the edges of wrong things, of filing them away under old building, long day, tired eyes. Then someone opened the curtain. Every other tree on the street was dense with late October leaves, deep red and amber and gold. This one was bare, completely bare, not a single leaf remaining. Its branches reaching upward, like something trying to climb out of the ground. Nobody said anything. Someone reached for the room service menu. On the inside back cover, written in handwriting so small it was almost missed. Help me. And below it, in the same handwriting, Bible, drawer. The drawer slid open. There was nothing inside. One of them picked up the Bible from the nightstand, opened the front cover. A list. Dates going back 40 years. Names beside each date. Different names. Different years. All in the same handwriting. And at the bottom of the list, added recently, the ink still slightly fresher than the rest. Their names? All of them. With tomorrow's date. Before anyone could speak. The baby crying. Faint. Distant. Inconsolable. They left every light on that night. Morning made everything from the night before feel slightly embarrassing. They packed in silence. The Bible stayed on the nightstand. None of them touched it. An old woman met them at the desk. Warm, unhurried. She explained everything. The painting, a guest who never came back for it. The mannequin from the boutique they used to run. The crying, her grandson, who sometimes woke in the night. Just an old building. Just the night playing tricks on tiles. They were almost outside when the old man appeared. The same slow walk, same eyes. It was lovely, he said quietly, visiting with you all. Again, he held out the Bible. You left it last time. They had never been here before. They drove away without speaking. 20 minutes down the road, one of them opened it. The list, the names, the same handwriting, decade after decade. Then he stopped. His name, the dates decades apart. Further up, another friend's name. And above that, another, many years earlier still. Same name, different lives, same handwriting, decades apart. Nobody saw the truck. Some debts aren't paid in one lifetime. Some places simply wait for you to come back around.